Efredionum, sports editor, Daily Guide. I'm here with Frank, CEO of Ireva Sports Agency. Frank, can you tell us about your company, Ireva?
All right, thank you for having me. Ireva Sports Agency, it's a football agency that's specifically set up to bridge the gap between Africa and European football. So we are stationed in Ghana because that's where we are from. And every great thing must start from home. So we want to consolidate our efforts here to see how we can reach to the African market in bridging that football energy, that gap between Africa and Europe. So we can see more of our African players, and for that matter, our Ghanaian players in the La Liga. That's why we are set up. And not just that, we also activate sporting events, sport management, and all the ancillary activities that move around football or soccer, for that matter.
How long have you been in existence?
We have been in existence for like 6 years, but technically, actively with La Liga for 5 years. We began with the dialogue, I would say 6 years ago, but actively we started working on this very subject 5 years ago.
My name is Bernard Nikwe, a reporter, a journalist at Graphic Sports. Frankie, I want to know why La Liga? There are so many other top European leagues in the world. Why did you choose La Liga?
La Liga because for us at Ireva, we think it's one of the most interesting football leagues across the world. When I say interesting, it has over 2.9 billion audience across the world, 700 million fan base that are associated with La Liga across the world, including Africa, South Africa, Nigeria, some part of Eastern Africa, and about 130 million followers on social media. So I feel that this is great numbers that we can add up to. And the whole aura and the whole activities around La Liga drives some form of energy, some excitement, some love, and of course, some commercial value around it. So we felt that we should really tie on to La Liga because we feel it's one of the most interesting leagues across the world.
I was at this year's viewing of the El Clasico. It was great at Garage Lounge.
Nice.
How would you describe this year's El Clasico? The quality and everything. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, compared to when we started 5 years ago, it was all being held at the Spanish Embassy, strictly by invitation. This is the first time after COVID that we decided to take it out upon advice from La Liga and the embassy themselves. Let's try something outside and see how the Ghanaian football community will accept it. So, well, we decided to put it at the garage at East Legon. And in a matter of a few weeks, we were able to put some plans together, and what you saw was the El Clasico at the garage. This is the first time we've had, I would say, the most colorful El Clasico event in Ghana. You saw all the football stakeholders that gathered, from journalists to ex-Black Stars players and those who have played in the La Liga, the Boateng, Asamoah, and all those guys, coming to witness and join the fun as we watch the clash between Real Madrid and Barcelona. So I would say generally it's been the most successful one we've done. As we speak, we're only waiting for the second leg to see what we can do.
Okay, going forward, do you have plans of taking it outside Accra? You know, football is not only watched in Accra, so you don't have to restrict it over here. Do you have plans of taking it outside Accra? Maybe Kumasi and other regions. Do you have plans of taking it there?
Obviously, La Liga is traveling, and one of the activities or one of the assets that they have is La Liga Local, and it concentrates on community football, concentrates on women football, concentrates on discussions around the youth and juvenile football. So Kumasi, let's say Ashanti region for that matter, and also other regions are very, very much on the radar of La Liga. So rightly said, the activities that they forwarded to us for us to have before the second leg comes off, one of the towns that they keep mentioning is Kumasi. One of the towns they keep mentioning is Kumasi. So I'm glad that you've also mentioned it. I'm sure that, I mean, they'll watch this interview and they'll know that, yes, there's still some interest in Kumasi. So we will be able to push some of the activities there and not centralize everything in Accra. So I'm very sure. I mean, there's going to be a whole week long of activities before the second leg, and they are all very interesting. We also have a build up to the World Cup that is also coming up, and some of these things can also be staged in the city of Kumasi.
Okay, I don't know the partnership or the agreement you have with the embassy, but have you looked at bringing on board the GFA? So probably with the aid of the Spanish embassy, you can bring some of these Spanish clubs on board to help to have an kind of partnership with our local sites over here. I don't know whether you are considering that. Those are some of the things that I think our clubs over here can benefit from. Are you looking forward to something like that?
Interesting. So La Liga is already in talks with GFA. The Spanish embassy in Ghana, for what I know, one of the diplomatic relationship that they have with Ghana includes sports. So already, I'm sure they're also in discussion with them. I think that they have been part of the previous All Clásicos at the Spanish embassy. So this is a bigger discussion, you know, because it's something that we have always knocked on the doors of La Liga to say, hey, you need to look back at Ghana and come support our league. The only way you can support the Ghanaian Premier League is to support the local clubs to grow with the assets that La Liga has, the human resource, the technology, you know, the transfer of players, the trials, you know, just so that we can also grow our league. It would be interesting to see some of the players in our local clubs playing top flight football also in Spain. It throws light back home on the teams or the clubs that groom them. So I think it's a good discussion, and already I'm aware that La Liga is having a conversation with GFA, and I'm sure it includes what you're talking about. But obviously, we'll recommend it to them and see what can be done. Okay,
Inaki Williams plays for Atletico Bilbao. We all know he's now playing for the Black Stars ahead of the World Cup. Are you looking at, let me say, viewing an Atletico Bilbao match to have Ghanaians supporting just to raise awareness of the La Liga, like you're saying?
Yes, definitely. You know, there's been a lot of news around Inaki Williams. Even in Spain, I mean, there's conversation on that guy. And for him to decide to play for Ghana drives a lot of conversation as well. So a lot of eyeballs on that guy for this World Cup as we are preparing to go to Qatar. So yes, organizing matches that Bilbao will be playing, it's possible for us to do that. And not just in Aki. I mean, Malaga has just signed a week ago, one Ghanaian local, Lomo. And this is what we want to see at Ireva Sports. We want to see Ghanaian players being signed on to one of the biggest football leagues in the world, La Liga. So it excites us to be part of it. What we need to do is to put spotlight on these players who are playing in the La Liga, and that includes Inaki and Lomo and all the other guys. There's another guy at Getafe called Kofi. I personally met him, had a discussion with him when I went to Madrid, and it's interesting how he was able to grow himself here locally to get the eyeballs of clubs from La Liga.
You have Joseph Edo, Biko, and all that. So I don't know, maybe at the end of the season or something, you should be looking at bringing them together, Ghana.
It all starts from here. So thank you for picking this, and this is where it starts. So when the conversation starts like this, then we can be able to now galvanize that support from them, put all of them together. It would be interesting to have all of them one day here in Ghana when they're on break, for us to watch some of the matches together with them and, you know, have the fun around them. Okay, finally,
let's move from La Liga. Ireva Sports Agency, do you, aside football, do you have any other sports that you're looking at organizing events around? What are some of the sports that you're looking at?
Right, so first thing is the women football is one thing that we are really eyeing. Second is the juvenile football. Away from football, we're looking at hockey, we're looking at basketball, we're looking at lawn tennis. I mean, sports that drive conversation across the world, that Ghana has equal opportunity to play in those international platforms, or players that play in those international platforms. We want to be interested to have a conversation around them, organize activities around them, put the spotlight on them so the world can look back at Ghana and indeed validate the fact that we're a football nation. If you look at the African continent, we've generated great football personalities on the continent, and it would be great for us to now begin to document it, now begin to validate it, and it starts from now.
Now that you've struck an agreement or partnership with La Liga, what do we stand to gain as a country, especially you being a Ghanaian?
Yeah, well, I think I'm proud to be the Ghanaian that's having these talks, and I think Ghana should also be proud to have a Ghanaian having this discussion and not any other national. It only gives the attention to Ghana. We know our people, and we know the kind of support that we need for our football in Ghana. What is in it for us? It opens an array of opportunities for football patrons, for football commerce, for even country Ghana when it comes to La Liga. When World State discussions are being had and nations are being mentioned, Ghana will be mentioned. When discussions on footballers across the world who are playing in the La Liga, Ghana will be mentioned. There will be a special eye on Ghana, and all the goodies that other nations are enjoying from La Liga, all the assets that La Liga has, will have equal access to these assets and put spotlight on Ghana. So I think that is good news for Ghana. For me, yes, there are other leagues, but I always say that La Liga is the league. La Liga is the league. And for us to be in this conversation with them and in this partnership with them, it comes as an exciting news, an exciting journey that we are about to start.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
Wish you
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.